Welcome to Astro Babble. I am Donna from Donna B Astrology.
And I'm Linda from Scullywag Astrology.
And today we are going to be talking about the planetary transits, the major ones for the rising sign of Pisces in 2024. So this will be very exciting.
Very exciting. And we recommend that you listen to or read your ascendant sign horoscope rather than your sun or moon. And if you don't understand why, we've done a video about that explains why that's the case. And I'll put a link to that in the description.
For the first planet we're talking about is Mercury. Mercury is the closest planet to the sun. It goes around the fastest, and it is going to squeak out 4 retrograde periods. Usually it limits itself to 3, but it's only squeaking out the 1 because it's kind of ending its retrograde period for the 2023 on January 1st of 2024. So Mercury is in charge of our communication, the way we communicate, the way our brothers and sisters, as well as commerce, and how we travel, short-term travel. So this is, and messages. Those are the things that Mercury rules. For this station, it's going to station retrograde December 13th, 2023 in Capricorn. And then it's going to station direct January 1st in Sagittarius in your 11th and 10th houses. And so this is going to affect the 10th houses is your career, as well as your reputation of what you're known for. And the 11th is your groups, associations, and your hopes and dreams. So that's where you're going to feel this retrograde period. That's when it goes retrograde, that's where you're going to feel it the most, is in those houses where the 11th house is. Yeah, you could end up wanting to join a group, and for some reason it got canceled and delayed, or that would be an 11th house way Mercury retrograde could possibly show up. It could also show up in your 10th house of, what you're known for, of, you were supposed to be getting a job promotion and it's not quite ready. Maybe you have to, submit some other things in order to get the promotion. So that's maybe how it could possibly show up for you.
Yeah. And from the 1st of April to the 25th of April, Mercury will be retrograding in Aries, which is your 2nd house. The 2nd house is your income, finances, and resources. So this is a good time to, keep an eye on your pay slip, make sure that you're being paid correctly. It also, things that you buy. So like if you're at the shop, if you're using cash, make sure you get the correct change. Make sure, just keep an eye on your bank statement, because, maybe you double charge for something, or just delays, setbacks, miscommunications regarding items. If you're buying something, particularly electronics, keep the receipt. It may be faulty, you may need to take it back. Just little kind of glitches. Just Mercury retrograde tends to be just irritating more than anything, but particularly if it is a big ticket item, keep the receipt. Just take a photo if necessary, because you might need that down the track if you're buying something between the 1st and 25th of April.
And then it's going to station retrograde August 4th in Virgo, and then station direct on August 28th. And the Mercury the retrograde periods only last about 3 weeks, but the shadow period extends it about a week on either side as well. So, and that's going to happen in your house of Leo. So that's going to go through really 2 houses. It's going to retrograde through the 7th and the 6th house. And, the 6th house is illness. So, watch your fingers and your arms with Mercury around. And then in your 7th house, it could be miscommunications with your significant other. So that's how Mercury could possibly show up with, through communications, going in a snafu way. That's, whether it's a significant person, your significant other, it could even be your business partner. This is, something that Mercury likes to mess with is communications. And so how you travel. So this is what you do daily. This could be in the 6th house. This is your health as well when it's retrograde. So, it's anytime a planet's retrograde in your 6th house, it's a good time if anything crops up to get it checked out.
Certainly. And between the 25th of November and the 15th of December, Mercury will be retrograde in Sagittarius, which is your 10th house. So this is the house often associated with your career, but it's also public reputation and it's also honors and rewards. With Mercury retrogrades, sometimes they bring people back into your life, even if just briefly. In your 10th house, you might be seeing people that you used to work with, particularly bosses or authority figures. It could be just in the workplace. You may need to be a little bit more careful with your work. You may be more prone to errors at this time, miscommunications, particularly with communications, emails, phone messages, anything that's computer based or mainly that sort of thing. If you do something that's bringing you attention, but it's not career related, that could also fall under this as well. If you're appearing in a play, or if you have some event between the 25th of November and the 15th of December, particularly if you're going to be center stage or in the spotlight in some way, because the 10th house is a very visible house, expect maybe there might be delays or mix-ups or some confusion regarding that. Just, double check all your details and allow a little bit extra time.
The next planet we're going to be talking about is Venus, and Venus is in charge of how we socialize, as well as art and beauty and, those kinds of things. She is known as the bright one. She is one of two benefic planets that we have in our solar system. So anything that we get usually is from Venus or Jupiter. Typically, and with this one, it's going to be Venus we're talking about. And she is going to be entering your 11th house, January 23rd in Capricorn, the sign of Capricorn. And that is your 11th house. And here is a house where she can, bring those groups together. This is the house of groups and associations, friends, and your hopes and dreams. So this is definitely a great place for Venus to exercise, what she does best, and that's getting people together. And so this is your groups and hopes and dreams, and this is a great time for Pisces.
Very nice. From February 16th to March 11th, Venus is going to be in Aquarius, which is your 12th house. The 12th house is the house of our undoing. It's places of confinement, such as hospitals or prisons. It's places of retreat, like monasteries or spiritual retreats, or just locking yourself away or taking yourself out of the social scene. And it is also just hidden and secret matters. This could be a time where you're not socializing as much. You may not be interested in that at this time. It could be a time where you want to, if there is a significant other, particularly if it is someone new, it may be more private at this time. Maybe just want to spend time together. Venus does tend to bring good things. So with the house of our undoing, it could be that if you have been struggling with issues, whether that's addictions or self-defeating habits or escapism or whatever you're trying to overcome, something that you find very limiting in some way, there may be some improvement at this time, which would be nice. Donna and I were talking earlier, I think it was in maybe Capricorn. No, I don't think it was Capricorn, maybe Aquarius. We decided that we like the idea of a health spa for Venus in the 12th, or even a beauty spa. So that would be a nice use of that energy here too.
It's definitely an executive decision. Everybody beat tracks to a spot. Yeah. And then February or March 11th, Venus is going to go into Pisces, and that's your first house. This is the house that you're known for. So if you were working on a painting in that 12th house that wasn't quite ready for public view, it might be ready for public view when Venus goes into your first house. This is a house where you're gonna see a benefic, but this is typically a house that's reserved for just yourself. So a painting that you did was certainly that, but it could be a time where you can get your hair done, and you're going to look good. You can try new things, and chances are it will turn out good. Get a wardrobe, anything that you're doing for yourself is where you're going to see that benefic quality of Venus showing up for you.
Yeah. And I mean, in Pisces, she's exalted. So really nice. Yeah.
It's a double good. It's in the first house. It's in Pisces. Yeah. And you are a Pisces. So
yeah. From April 4th to April 29th, Venus is going to be in Aries. Aries is a sign where she's not very strong because she's ruled by Mars here, which is very different to Venus. Venus is all love and harmony and relationships and socializing. And Mars is the planet of war. This is in your second house of finances, though, personal finances, income, resources. So Venus does tend to bring good things. So there could be a little bump in income here, or maybe it's a bonus, or maybe you're gifted a resource that's very beneficial to you. Or this can be just ease. Maybe finances have been a bit of an issue and maybe that eases off a little bit at that time. Venus just tends to bring a lightness and just an ease. So yeah, that would be nice.
And then April 29th, Venus is going to move into the sign of Taurus, and this is your third house. And Taurus is a sign that she rules. So she's going to have all of her tools handy to manifest her agenda in your third house. And those third house things could be things like, bringing your family together, your brothers and sisters, as well as your community, and how you communicate. So how these things are going to show up is going to have a benefit, and she's going to give a positive influence to all of these third house qualities in the house that she's in. So as long as she's there, this is a great time. She rules this house. She's got all of her tools. It's the third house. It's a nice house. So yeah, it's a great time for Pisces. Well, Pisces is really having a good time with with Venus.
From May 23rd to June 17th, Venus is going to be in Gemini, which is your fourth house. The fourth house is your parents. It's also your home and living situation, real estate matters, and heritage. So this is a really nice house to get involved with family members, socializing. Your relationship with them in general should be more harmonious. Great time to redecorate or just beautify your home in some way, even if that's just buying new bed linen or some cushions or, a nice painting or something.
June 17th, Venus will move into Cancer, and this is the fifth house. And in Cancer, she has affinity with this house. She likes the moon. She has a lot of commonality with the moon. And in the fifth house is the place of her joy. And the fifth house is responsible for children and your hobbies and things that you like to do for fun. This could as well be dating. So if you are a Pisces and you are, ready to date, this would be a time to step out into that field. It's emotional. So you might have an emotional connection. This is a really good time for Venus to be in the fifth house where she does have her joy. So this is a double bonus again for Pisces. This is a great year for Pisces.
Nice. From July 11th to August 4th, Venus will be in Leo. This will be in your sixth house. So the sixth house is pets. It's also the house of illness, and it is also co-workers, or those that work for us. It can include people that are of service to others, like doctors, nurses, first responders. So it could be that you benefit through these people, whether it's a co-worker or an employee or somebody that you're supervising through work, or, one of those people that are of service to others. It's possible you could start a relationship with somebody who has one of those occupations, or an employee, or a co-worker, or it could be just it's a nice harmonious time in the workplace, particularly if you are of service to others, depending on what your occupation is. Could be a nice time to beautify your work surroundings. When it comes to pets, nice time for spending time with pets. They may have some benefit. Maybe, you're showing a pet at this time in some pet show or something similar. You could be gifted or buy a pet at this time. And when it comes to illness, perhaps if you've been struggling with an illness, there may be some easing of that at this time.
Very nice. And then she's going to move in on August 4th. She's going to move into Virgo, and this is your seventh house. And Virgo, she does not have a lot of affinity. She doesn't have a lot of affinity. She does not particularly comfortable in this sign, but it is your seventh house. This is the seventh house of the other. This is the one-on-one relationships that you have, whether it is with a significant other or a business partner, even a doctor or a lawyer appointment that you might have. You're going to have a benefit from those one-on-one relationships that you do have in your life.
From August 29th to September 22nd, Venus will be in Libra, which she rules. So Venus is very comfortable in this house. It is in the 8th house of other people's money, so you may benefit through others at this time. If you do have a significant other or a business partner, it may be through them, because the 8th house is it's other people's money. So it can be the partner's money. But this could also be inheritances. It could be loans, debts. It could be insurance or taxation. It could be money from a financial institution. For whatever reason, there may be an increase in income through other people's money.
Very nice.
It's in Libra, so I mean, she can work well here for you.
Yeah, she rules that sign. So on September 22nd, she's going to go from a really nice place into, a darker hole. When she moves into the sign of Scorpio on September 22nd, that's going to be moving into your 9th house. This is the house of esoteric subjects, as well as higher education, foreign travelers, the law, or publishing. So those are the areas where she kind of rules. And you should be able to get a benefit through those 9th house topics of whether it's foreign travel or a foreign, maybe a foreign country that an item that you have ordered from a foreign country, have a benefit, that you unexpectedly get. This could also be, for law or publishing. If you have a legal case coming up, this could possibly go your way. She does not have a lot of dignity here. She is in exile. It's the sign that's, where she does not have all the tools that she does. She does not have essential dignity like she has in Libra or Taurus. So yeah, in Scorpio, she's not as beneficial, but she still will give you some kind of benefit around the 9th house subject.
And from October 17th to November 11th, Venus will be in Sagittarius in your 10th house. The 10th house is your career and public reputation, and it's also honors and rewards. So this can be, maybe you are being honored or rewarded for something that you've done. That would certainly be a nice signification of Venus in the 10th. You may receive some benefit through work, maybe a promotion or a bonus or being recognized in some way. It could be just that things are much more convivial. Maybe it's just much more harmonious. People like you, they approve of you, you're doing well. Just nice energy to have in your 10th house, because this is a very visible house too.
Good advice. And November 11th, she is going to be moving into the sign of Capricorn. And Capricorn is your 11th house. And the 11th house is your friends and hopes and dreams. And this is a great place. Again, if you are trying to get a group of people together, Venus is going to be right there to help you make that event more harmonious and pleasant for everyone.
Very nice, yes. And from December 7th, Venus will be in Aquarius, which is your 12th house. So, if there is a special someone in your life, maybe you're going to take this a little bit more behind the scenes, because this is a house of hidden and secret matters. It could be just that, you want to spend time alone, not necessarily out in the world stage. It's also the house of our undoing. So if you've been struggling with addiction or trying to overcome a self-defeating habit or something like that, Venus may assist with this in some way, or it could be working behind the scenes on something artistic or creative.
Nice. Well, the next planet we are going to be talking about is Mars, and Mars is in charge of drive and bravery, courage, as well as aggression and heat. Just not thinking, you acting without thought. Mars is as well in charge of separation and iron. So when Mars is around, he is one of the two malefic planets that we have in our universe. That we have Mars and Saturn. Those are the two. And Mars affects those people who are born during the daytime stronger than those at night. On January 4th, he's going to be moving into Capricorn, and this is your 11th house. In Capricorn, Mars is exalted, so he has a little bit of access to some of his tools, so he can probably perform in a more positive way, like bringing people together and having those leadership qualities, showing to have other people, follow and, do what you're asking them to do. This is also drive that Mars is in charge of. And in the 11th house, you can have, you can get those people to get together and get that basketball game, going. So this is a great thing for groups and associations, as well as your hopes and dreams. This provides the strength, the drive, the leadership qualities that you need for your hopes and dreams.
Very nice. From February 13th to the 22nd of March, Mars is going to be in Aquarius, which is your 12th house. This is a problematic house. It's the house of our undoing. It's also places of confinement like prisons or hospitals, places of retreat like monasteries or a spiritual retreat. It's hidden and secret matters. It can be also hidden enemies. So Mars here, Mars is a malefic, like Donna said. You could have issues with secret enemies at this time. Probably more likely, though, that your aggression or haste or rashness, or what would you put it? Aggression may kind of come back to bite you. It may cause issues for you. It may be part of your downfall or your undoing. Not, for all time or anything, but it's something that could happen during this time period. So you may need to watch that. A really good way to mitigate that might be to, work hard behind the scenes on something, whatever that is. And that could be anything. It could be just something, you're taking yourself out of circulation and working hard on a project, whatever that project might be.
Good advice. And then March 22nd, Mars will be moving into Pisces, and this is your first house. This is the house of yourself. So you want to be careful of, injury to yourself, as Mars does rule accidents and, moving without thinking a lot of times. This also has a lot to do with, aggression, harsh words. So be careful how you talk to people as well. On that front, on the positive side, Mars can give you the drive to, start an exercise regimen that you are doing for yourself, to whether it's toning or just, to get more healthier, is a great expression of Mars in the first house. This is a great time to get those things, get that drive that you need to accomplish those goals that you want to help you.
From April 30th until June 8th, Mars will be in Aries in your second house. The second house is our personal income, finances, and resources. Mars in the second has a bit of a reputation for burning a hole in your pocket. You may be
Absolutely.
Donna's experienced it. You had Mars retrograde there, didn't you?
I did. Lasted a long time.
Yes, a very long time. But for you, it will only last from April 30th to June 8th. So not so bad, only 5 weeks or so. You may be really inspired and really driven to make that money and that, but you're probably just as driven to spend it. So if you can, this could be a good time to cut the spending. Probably not really going to happen, but you never know. It is an Aries where it rules. Aries is ruled by Mars, so it's able to effectively carry out what it wants to do, which amongst other things is cutting. So cutting your personal finances, you could try and trim the budget, try and shore up that savings, I suppose, but just be aware you're probably a little bit more likely to be freer with your money at this time. But yeah, look, if you know it's coming, maybe you can try to mitigate that a bit, try and cut out excessive spending on whatever you think is not necessary, perhaps.
It's because Mars provides that go, 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 drive, drive, drive.
Yeah, yeah.
And you don't, when it comes to your money and your wallet, you don't want those things really happening unless they're necessary. Sometimes you have to spend money where it's necessary.
Yeah.
But then on June 8th, Mars will go into Taurus, and this is your third house. Mars does not feel comfortable or at home in Taurus. He does not have the tools that he really requires or needs as he's in the sign that Venus rules. So he's a little uncomfortable here. But in the third house, you're still going to get, you still have that opportunity to get some drive and courage and bravery with that around those third house topics, like to learn a new language, to communicate with other people, or to Mars is in charge of iron and drive, so a new car could also be a possibility. Chances are with the malefic, they tend to take things away more than they give, like Venus and Jupiter do. So, this could be around, this could also, like, Linda had said this, I think it was in Capricorn, road rage. This is a good, that third house is your short community, and where you travel around, in your own community where you feel comfortable on what you do. So, and the places that you go. So this is your close community, and what you kind of grew up with, or live in, your close community that you live in right now. And so in Taurus, with Mars there, you can get some anger issues around your community as well.
Yeah, may want to watch for car accidents and that too. They may be more prevalent at that
Exactly.
time. From July 20th until September 4th, Mars will be in Gemini, which is your fourth house. The fourth house concerns our parents, our home and living situation, and real estate matters. So there may be impatience, aggression, irritation with parents or people that you live with matters to do with the home. Could be accidents concerning those people or in the home. A great way to mitigate this, try and be more active with those people, or do something more physical around the house, whether that's, getting a home gym, doing something physical to the house, maybe there's something that needs to be done. It's all very well saying being active around the house, or do something with the house, but not everybody's able to renovate or do anything like that. I mean, it's a big outtake of money in that. But yeah, look, be more active with parents, maybe energy and drive, ambition into something that you want to do with real estate matters or around the home.
Very nice. And then on September 4th, Mars is going to move into the sign of Cancer. And Cancer is in your fifth house. So this is going to revolve around children, the hobbies that you have, the things that you do for fun. This could give you drive to pursue those hobbies. If you are trying to get a basketball team going, this would give you the drive to do that. This is children as well. So as Linda was saying in a couple episodes ago, that, when Mars is in the fifth house, it can give it could possibly your children to have accidents, because Mars rules accidents, and you could get into you could have an accident as well as you're pursuing your hobbies. So make sure that the hobbies that you are pursuing, you have all the safety precautions around.
From November 3rd, Mars is going to be in Leo, which is your sixth house of illness. So this is a house that Mars is going to retrograde in. It's going to station retrograde, and it's going to go backwards, or appear to go backwards, through your sixth house. It's only going to get to 6 degrees Leo, and it's going to go back into that fifth house. Particularly with sport or hobbies, you may injure yourself, and maybe it takes longer to recover, and maybe you're going to have to go back and look at it. But yeah, the sixth house is issues like illness. It's also pets. So Mars is aggression and accidents. Again, that could be related to pets. It's co-workers. So maybe your relationship with co-workers or those that work for you is a little bit more contentious. Maybe it's you're more irritated, or they're more irritating, just aggressive. Mars it just wants to go forward, and it can be in a rush sometimes. So yeah, when Mars is around, sometimes it can be just that underlying energy, even if there's no fighting or harsh words. Sometimes it's just, you can still feel it, like you can cut the air with a knife sort of thing, or that's something to be aware of. But Mars is going to retrograde in those houses. So I would be particularly careful if you are involved with sport or, with animals, if there's animals or sport or hobbies, like Donna was saying, if there's accidents that happen surrounding that, maybe that's an issue that's going to have to be redressed.
And on December 6th, so Mars will station at 6 degrees of Leo retrograde. So that's where it's going to station retrograde. So, and then it's going to move back into Cancer. It's going to go back into Cancer and station direct on February 23rd, 2025 at 17 degrees Cancer. So this is really going to happen kind of at the end of the year. Yeah, and with this retrograde, it's going to retrograde between your 6th and your 5th house. So those issues will come up, and Mars will not be probably working as auspiciously as it could and is possible to work in. And that's what I'm trying to say. This retrograde period will last. Not only is it just between February 23rd and December 6th, but this is also going to happen. It kind of starts with a shadow period from October 5th to May 2nd. This is going to stretch that retrograde period out to about 8 months, 7 or 8 months, where usually it's only an assign for 6 weeks. Anyways, but my point is it seems like be in there for eternity. So that's where you're going to be feeling this retrograde period. And anywhere in between 6 degrees of Leo and 17 degrees of Cancer, any planets that you have in there might feel this retrograde period again, as especially.
And when I was talking earlier, I was kind of linking the 6th house of illness to events happening in the 5th house, like children, pets, sport, hobbies. But it may not be as direct as that. It could be neither. It could be both, but separate events. Something happens with a child or with sport or something, and the illness house may be to do with pets or something else. They may not be linked, or they may. You're more likely to have those issues if you have planets at those degrees that Donna was talking about, between 17 degrees of Cancer and 6 Leo. Just because it retrogrades over 2 houses doesn't mean that the topics of both houses will actually be linked together. It could be 2 separate events. So I just wanted to make that clear. And it might not be anything at all. It may be just irritation, and when Mars is retrograde, it's very frustrating because Mars wants to go forward and it's appearing to go backwards. So you got to go back over old ground.
Harsh words. Clean those rooms again.
Hey, back talk from kids.
And then the next planet we're going to be talking about is Jupiter in 2024. It's going to have 3 major planetary movements. Jupiter is in charge of expansion. It wants to have the big picture. It is one of 2 benefic planets. The Venus is the other one. Jupiter is the one that helps those people who are born during the daytime. So Jupiter is the greater benefic, is what it's called. And it's the first planetary aspect that it's going to make is Jupiter will conjunct Uranus. And Uranus is that planet of shock and rebellion and looking at things a different way and revolutionary ideas. So Jupiter wants to expand on those, as that's his function is to make things bigger. He's going to conjoin Uranus at 21 degrees Taurus, 49 minutes on April 20th. And this is only 12 degrees after an eclipse that we'll be talking about later in this episode. But there's a ton of energy with that eclipse coming, and this is only 12 days later. So I would definitely, this is going to be happening in your 3rd house. When Jupiter and Uranus are conjunct in a house, it's going to want to expand those in a way that is different to you or unusual or breakthrough or awakening. That's the job of Uranus, is to get you awake, to look at things in a different way. Around your third house, this could have to do with your siblings, your extended family, your close-knit community, as well as how you travel. So I don't think we'll be flying around in cars this year, but that definitely could come with a Jupiter-Uranus conjunction.
Interesting. Particularly in Taurus.
I'm making a prediction. Not necessarily this year, though.
We want that Jetson lifestyle.
Absolutely.
From the 25th of May, 2024, Jupiter is going to move into Gemini, which is your fourth house. So this is to do with your parents. It's to do with your home and living situation and real estate matters. So maybe you're moving into a bigger, roomier place, or maybe your parents are doing something expansive, or they could be more enthusiastic and optimistic at this time. It's a nice energy. Unfortunately, Jupiter in Gemini is in detriment, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury, which is opposite Jupiter. Jupiter's big picture thinking and grand schemes and ideas and philosophy and law and all those sorts of topics, whereas Mercury is more interested in the process and drilling down into the details and the minutiae. Jupiter is going to be in your fourth house for about a year. Yeah, Jupiter tends to bring good things, so maybe you benefit in some way through parents or people that you share your home with, real estate matters, or your living situation.
Very nice. Yeah, and wherever Jupiter is, it's going to be you're going to have a benefit to, wherever that is. Jupiter is going to station retrograde at 21 degrees Gemini on October 9th and station direct at 11 degrees Gemini on February 4th. And this is it's going to go into it's in your fourth house. This is a planet that doesn't move very fast. So it kind of is going to be tweaking are going to be from 11 degrees Gemini to 21 degrees Gemini. So if you have planets in Gemini between those degrees, or planets that are in any of the other mutable signs like Pisces or Virgo and Sagittarius, then you might feel this retrograde a little bit more.
Yeah. When Jupiter's retrograde, what we were enthusiastic about and, looking forward to do, and with you, it would be with regard to fourth house matters. So parents, living situation, real estate, you may just feel like, not as enthusiastic, optimistic about it. You may just, delays and setbacks, and it's just disappointing. But look, going back to the drawing board, and sometimes that delay results in better results anyway. So that's something to keep in mind.
Yes, when a benefic planet is involved in it, it could be a delay for a good reason to get you something better. And the next planet we're going to be talking about is Saturn. And Saturn is the other malefic planet of the two that we have in our universe. Mars is the first one. Saturn is the second one. Saturn is in charge of barriers and restrictions, as well as hard work and long-term anything. Saturn is in charge of structure as well. So when Saturn is in Pisces, it's going to remain in Pisces, and that's in your first house. So you might find a little bit of restriction on the things that you want to do for yourself. Not that this is bad, unless you are a night birth. If this is a night birth, this would have a whole another set of issues. But this could give you that structure and foundation of whatever you're embarking on when Saturn is in your first house.
We talk about Jupiter in the first house and how that can kind of make you put on weight. With Saturn in the first house, sometimes you can lose weight. As the first house is your house of your health and vitality, though, and it is a malefic planet, it's possible that could be through a result of ill health, or it could be, a separate matter, that there is ill health and you've deliberately gone out of your way to lose weight to assist with that, which would be kind of quite Saturnian in a way, because losing weight, you're denying yourself in some ways, you're cutting back, you're saying no to those extra helpings or those naughty cravings and all the rest of it.
Exactly.
Mm.
And then Saturn is going to retrograde at 19 degrees Pisces, 25 minutes on June 29th. And then it's going to station direct at 12 degrees Pisces, 24 minutes on November 15th in your first house. So this is going to be readdressing those issues of, cutting back and restriction and structure. Those types of things are going to be readdressed in your first house.
Yeah. Saturn, when it's retrograde, those limitations and restrictions can seem just very, very onerous, you just feel it worse. It's just, you might have started a diet or something and thought, yes, it's going to be great. I'm going to lose the weight, blah, blah, blah. And then, it's just like, oh, I'm so hungry. And first house is also how people view us. And, it's all about you, your health and vitality. So, maybe you're not feeling 100% at this time. And yeah, look, Saturn in the first, it's hard because it's all about you. As Donna was saying earlier, if you are a day birth, you probably find this easier to deal with. Night birth, this is the planet that's your kind of nemesis. But Saturn is all about structure. It's building a solid foundation. So this is your health and vitality. So one way to try and think about it is, yes, it is about restriction and, hard work and all the rest of it. But, you're building a solid foundation for your health and vitality. Or if you're working hard to try and achieve something that, yes, it may be painful and it may take a long time and all that, but anything worth doing is worth doing well. And sometimes it takes a long time to do anything significant. So hopefully that helps.
I always take a deep breath whenever I see somebody who's got Saturn in their first house natally. It's like,
hard workers, really
they
hard
are, yeah.
workers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, usually. Not always, but usually.
Yeah. And then the next planet we're going to be talking about is Pluto. And Pluto is the planet of transformation. It's that phoenix in the flames where you have to burn down to come up and rise above this. And Pluto is in charge of making small things big or big things small. So it does that. It likes to do that transformation kind of work. It's an intense planet. It's also the planet of control and obsessions. So you with Pisces, this is a thing that you need to watch out about. Pluto enters Aquarius on January 20th, 2024. It's been trying to go back and forth, trying to move from Capricorn into Aquarius for the last couple of years. This is because it's one of the slowest planets. It takes the longest to go back and forth. So it's finally it's been in Aquarius March 23rd to June 11th of 2023. So we might have gotten a glimpse of what it's trying to change for us. So that would be the help that you might want to refer back to what was happening around March 23rd to June 11th. That might give you an idea of what Pluto is stepping into your life for.
Yeah. Pluto will re-enter Capricorn on the 1st of September 2024, and it will remain there until the 19th of November 2024. This was happening in your 11th house of groups, friends, and organizations. It's also the house of your hopes and dreams. So Pluto may have been affecting some sort of transformation. Maybe you've joined a group or you joined a group because Pluto's been in that house since 2008. During that time, he's been moving through very, very, very slowly. If you have planets in that house, you might have felt this quite significantly while he was transiting over that degree. So your friendships, your group associations, and even those that can assist you in some way may have had some transformative events happening. He will be leaving and he won't be back in that house for another 240 something years. So if matters concerning groups, friends, organizations have been hugely transformative over the last, what's that? It's a long time, 16 or 20 years, that may be coming to an end. if you have planets at the very end of Capricorn, you may be still feeling the effects of this, but basically it's going to move into your 12th house for good from the 19th of November. So there will be a shift. And as Donna said, you may have felt that shift a little bit between March and June of 2023.
Yeah. And then so Pluto will go into Aquarius November 19th of 2024. It will remain in Aquarius in your 12th house until March 8th of 2043. That's 21 years in your 12th house. And then yeah, it's that time to, you know, go in and work behind the scenes a lot. You might find yourself working behind the scenes a lot more than you have in the last 20 or so years.
I was going to say, I'm thinking for people like this is the house for undoing. This could be hugely transformative for Pisces ascendants. You know, Pluto can, you know, really deep dive and, you know, plumb the depths of issues and that. And as it's our house for undoing, it includes things like addictions and self-defeating habits and escapism. So that it's a difficult house to be in, but it could be really quite spectacular in transformative abilities, I imagine.
Absolutely, because Pluto is asking us to grow. Whatever that path is, it's asking us to transform whatever will get us there.
And obviously, if you have planets in Aquarius, it's going to be much more significant. Or if you have planets in the other fixed signs, so that's Leo, Scorpio, and Taurus, when Pluto makes contact, whether that's the conjunction, opposition, or square, mind you, even the trines and sextiles can have an effect too. So when Pluto's making contacts to your natal planets, that's when you're more likely to feel the effects. It will be there for a long time. So it's not going to be like all compressed into 1 year. But when it makes contacts with those planets, if you have planets there, is when you are more likely, you know, over, and it might be over 2 or 3 years. It's not going to happen in 2 weeks or anything, but you know, if something significant does happen and you look back at it, it will probably be making contacts with a natal planet at that time, I imagine.
Yeah. And then Pluto, when it moves on into your first house, it's going to move in there first on January 19th, 2044. So you have a while till Pluto gets into your first house.
Well, it will move in from the 8th of March, 2043, very briefly first. But yeah, you got 20 years or something. Don't worry about it. It's getting there. You're going to be dealing with 12th house stuff for a while.
Put that on your docket, because that's the dish that's being served today. And then we have the eclipses, and those are very interesting for those people in the United States for this year. The first eclipse, we're going to have 4 of them. Sometimes we can have up to 6 eclipses in a year. So, but this year is only 4. The first eclipse that we're going to have is a lunar eclipse on March 25th, 2024 at 5 degrees Libra, 7 minutes, and that's going to happen in your 8th house. Lunar eclipses typically are felt more inward. It's more of a, you know, an inward type of change that we might see or anticipate. And like I said, that's going to be in your 8th house. The next eclipse is going to be the solar eclipse. It's going to be a total eclipse, and it's happening April 8th, 2024 at 19 degrees Aries, 24 minutes in your 2nd house. And this is your house of finance, the things that you value, as well as your wallet, your finances. So Linda and I did a episode on the eclipses, so you might want to refer to that one. That's going to tell you all about the Saros series on how they start and when they finish, and much more into detail about what the difference between a total and annular eclipse is going to be. Now, I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Jupiter and this April 8th eclipse, the October 14th eclipse that we had in 2023 basically went from like Oregon to, you know, across Texas, and it ended like around northern South America. This solar eclipse on April 8th that we're going to have is going to run from basically Hawaii over Texas and then end like around Greenland. So it's going to, those two eclipses together are going to make an X right over San Antonio, Texas. And any country that experiences the visibility of an eclipse, they have said for over 4,000 years, has the potential to experience the eclipse energy for that whole entire country. And eclipses in mundane astrology, you know, can bring in crop failure to wars to, you know, all kinds of things. So this is going to be very much one to watch come April 8th, especially with that Uranus Jupiter energy that we're going to have in Taurus. It definitely, there's going to be a lot of energy with that. And Linda and I, we did an episode on the eclipses, and we referenced one particular book by Bernadette Brady that we use as a Bible. So, and can you tell us a little bit about the Saros series that we might be experiencing with this solar eclipse on April 8th?
Yeah, this is going to be part of Saros Series 8 North. So Saros series, a whole group of eclipses, they run for about nearly 1,300 years. Every 18 years, you will have an eclipse in the same Saros series. We've got 2 solar eclipses this year. They have different Saros series, but you look at the information regarding each Saros series, it can give you an indication of what you can expect from that eclipse. So particularly if you have planets that round about 19 degrees of Aries, or the other cardinal signs, so 19 degrees of Libra, Capricorn, or Cancer, you may find this more significant. With regard to Saros Series 8 North, Bernadette says, inventiveness and flashes of genius are the hallmark of this Saros series. The individual will have intuitive leaps, insights, good ideas, visions, or vivid dreams. This newfound inspiration will pull the person away from his or her social life or relationship, thereby causing strain in the private life. This is a time when the person needs to be free, if only for a few weeks. Other eclipses in this Saros series occurred in 1952, 1970, 1988, and 2006. So if you have planets round about the 19 Aries, you may find that events that happen to you surrounding that may have a linking to those years. Something to look into if you have planets around about 19 degrees. And it may not be super obvious, but it might be just a theme sort of thing.
And that's from Bernadette Brady's Predictive Astrology, The Eagle and the Lark.
Mm-hmm.
The book that we're referencing, which is a great book.
Then on 17th of September, we have the first of the Pisces Virgo eclipses. We've been having eclipses in the Aries Libra axis. We have had those for a little while now. Eclipses happen across 2 signs for about 18 months or 2 years, and then they change signs. They move backwards. We still have a solar eclipse in Libra in October, and we will have a final Aries eclipse in March 2025. But in September, we have the first of the Pisces Virgo eclipses, and this is going to be in your first house. We don't have a Virgo one this year. We will have a Virgo one next year, and that will be in your 7th house. So first and 7th house are going to be the areas where the eclipses will be moving towards, but we're still finishing up the 10th and the 4th, which is home versus career. So yeah, if you have planets around about 25 degrees of Pisces, you may feel this quite significantly, and your Pisces ascendant. So this is an eclipse happening in your first house. So this may have something to do with your health and vitality, or how others perceive you, or your appearance. And then the last of the Libra eclipses happens on the 2nd of October 2024 in your 8th house of other people's money. And Donna, do you have the information regarding that Saros series?
I do. This is Saros Series 8 South, and this is separation and loss, to be parted, to finish something, and to feel sad at its completion. Physical injury is also possible through overstraining one's strength. This is not the time to undertake strenuous physical activities. And this is in reference to things that might have eclipses that have passed of 1952, 1970, 1988, 2006. So if you can remember back, what was going on around those times, might give you an indication of what's going to happen around this time.
And I just realized I referenced the 10th and the 4th instead of the 8th and the 2nd, because I'm thinking of my chart. I'm getting tired. So yeah, those eclipses in Aries and Libra, they were occurring on your 8th and 2nd house, but you will be moving into 1st and 7th house matters. But we're still finishing up 8th, which is other people's money, versus 2nd, which is your money. So these eclipses are all about how you work with those topics.
And Linda, what are you doing other than working so hard at all of these horoscopes? You presented all the slides very nicely.
Oh, thank you.
What else are you doing, and where can people get a hold of you for whatever your services are?
I'm at Scullywag Astrology. That's astrology.scullywag.com. I offer natal readings, year ahead readings, and relationship readings. And Donna, where can people find you, and what services are you offering?
I offer year ahead readings, as well as natal readings and horary, electional. And I also work with crystals. I bring a crystal to every one of our Linda and I do a podcast every fortnight to give you the energies of the planets and the horoscopes for that period of time. And I also bring a stone to each one of those, and I tell you a little bit about it as I work with energy healing and chakra balancing and getting the body aligned to help with healing. So that's what I do. And you can get a hold of me at donnabastrology.com, or you can write me. My email address is donnabarconsulting@gmail.com. So yeah, we appreciate you coming and listening to our videos. Please, if you have the ability to share, like, and subscribe, everybody, let everybody know. And if you're listening to your horoscope and you have a significant other, give them, let them know that of where they can get their horoscope from too, so that they're prepared for 2024 like you are.
Yeah. And I mean, if you don't know your ascendant, me and Donna can assist with that, or go to astro.com. They have a great free website that you can plug in your details. You will need to know your time of birth, though, or whoever's birth chart you're looking for. You need to know your time, date, and place of birth. Anyway, happy 2024. I hope it's good for you, Pisces. Thank you.
Happy New Year.